Hey, what's up guys? Hey, if you're watching this video, you've probably asked me what my wheel and tire setup is, as well as my suspension setup. So what I want to do with this video is I kind of want to go over that and alleviate any questions that you guys have about the wheel and tire setup, the suspension setup, does it rub, and how does it ride. Okay, so starting off first, my wheels and tires. All right, my wheels and tires, they are 22 by 12 -43 fuel Tritons. Okay, these wheels are pretty wide. As you see, they got a little bit of poke outside of the truck, just enough for me. There's an OEM fender flare on here, so without that they would probably look like they poke a little bit more, but they poke out just enough for me. They do get the side of the truck a little bit dirty when it rains, so it's not a big deal for me. But again, 22 by 12s, and they're on 33-inch Nitto Ridge Grappler. They're 12.5-inch wide tires, so on the 12-inch wheel it sits real nice. It doesn't have any real stretch or anything like that, like some of those cheaper Chinese tires, you know, the Ching Chang tires, whatever the people call them, on the Facebook groups and stuff like that. This is a good tire. I've had this tire on here for at least 30,000 miles. Tire still has tons of tread on it, and these tires ride very smooth. They're a little bit loud now that they're worn out, but when they were brand new, up to about 25,000 miles, they were extremely quiet, almost like a stock tire was. The question that I get all the time, does it rub? Oh my god, if I put big wheels and tires on my truck, is it gonna rub? Most likely, yeah, it's gonna rub. But if you do the proper trimming, you'll cut down that rub to you know, maybe rubbing only whenever the truck flexes. For me, where my truck rubs is usually in reverse when it flexes. All right, so if I'm going out of the driveway and hitting a bump or something like that in a parking lot, or the, you know, the grade changes, of course it's going to get a little bit of a rub. But what I've done on the truck is I've done quite a bit of trimming. So as you see right here on the inner fender liner, that's this piece right here, I've done some trimming right here. Usually it comes like all the way out to here, but I trimmed it all the way back to here. It kind of exposes some of this metal, which I don't like, but the tire is not rubbing on that, so it really doesn't bother me. The only place that my tire really rubs is on the fender liner and on the OEM fender flare, which you can cut this OEM fender flare like this, but I just kind of let mine rub out and it doesn't really rub that bad anymore. On the front, this lower valance, you just got to cut it along here a little bit, and I've removed the lower one just because I think it looks better, gives the truck a lot better look. So if you guys have a four-wheel drive truck, the valance comes down about here and it looks really ugly. It does improve your fuel economy, but I think it looks terrible, so I've removed it. Makes the truck look like it sits up a little bit higher, and it's not really a big issue when you remove it. Okay, so the front suspension setup. Okay, as you see here, my truck sits just a tad higher in the front than it does in the rear. In the front, I have a 2.5-inch leveling block. Okay, nothing special, nothing fancy. This is a $40 leveling kit that I bought off of eBay. Basically take this strut out, put the leveling block on top of the strut, put it back in. All right, no other weird stuff. My axles aren't at a crazy angle with the 2.5-inch level. They're at a little bit different angle than they are factory, but I've used four-wheel drive several times in this truck and not had an issue with the axle angles. Additionally, if you go with a 3-inch level, mine's only a 2.5-inch. If you go with a 3-inch, I'm telling you, it's going to be almost impossible to align, and it's going to put the axle at a crazy angle. Additionally, this upper control arm is almost going to touch the spring. So a lot of guys running a 3-inch and bigger leveling kits without doing a true lift on the truck, you're going to want to do upper control arms as well. Now in the back, all right, it does sit a little bit lower than the front. All that I've done in the back is I have removed the OEM leveling block that comes on the truck. So normally right here between the leaf spring and the axle, there is a block that is about 1.5 inches thick. I've taken that off, and I'll show that to you now. So here's this OEM leveling block, just sits on top of the axle in between the axle and leaf springs. I've removed it because with a 2.5-inch leveling kit, if you still run this block, the back of the truck is going to definitely sit higher than the front of the truck. Okay, and I didn't like how it looked. I ran it with this block for quite a while, and then I decided, hey, I'm going to remove this. All right, The block is a little bit less than 1.5 inches thick, about 1.25 inches. That's what it looks like to me. But that 1.25 inches, I'll tell you, it's going to make the back sit way higher, and it looks kind of goofy to me. So I've removed it. Some people complain that when you remove this, you get a little bit of vibration in the rear. I have not gotten any vibration in the rear of my truck. All right. Some people remove this and put a smaller one, or they put a shim in. I would have done a shim if it had any vibration, but I don't get any vibration out of mine. So just give you guys a better look at the truck with the suspension setup. Now, one thing I didn't really touch on when I was talking about the trimming was cutting the crash bars. So the F-150 has awesome crash test rating, and it's most likely due to these crash bars right here. There's one right here, and there's one right here. And basically what they do is they give the truck a little bit more protection, okay? Now, the lower model trucks in the 2015s, the XL didn't even have these from the factory, okay? Additionally, the Raptor does not have these, okay? So I'm not a genius, I'm not an engineer, but when two of the trucks in the lineup don't have these and they just have a slightly lower crash test rating, I'm okay with that, okay? Doesn't bother me. People will say, oh, your insurance company, if they see this, blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you, there have been several people on the F-150 groups that have removed these, got in an accident, had no issues with their insurance companies, okay? I feel safe with mine. Basically, what you have to do is you either have to cut these off. The one in the back is the big one that gets in the way, but the one in the front, you really don't need to modify most of the time. Now, this one in the back, you can get away with just bending it back, but I just went ahead and cut it off because I didn't want to have to deal with it. And if I ever went bigger, I was, you know, gonna want that. I was planning on maybe going 22 by 14s, but I really like the 22 by 12s. They ride nice. I drive the truck every single day, and that's really important for me. But for some of you guys that are just out here, maybe driving the trucks on the weekends, you know, stunting for Instagram, maybe the 14 wide, or if you're like my boy Jake Pistol, I'll drop his Instagram below. He has a leveled F-150 with, I think they're like 24 by 16 inch, like American Forces. So I'll leave a link to his truck. It's pretty crazy. I'll drop that link below so you can check out his Instagram, because his truck is wild. But for me, hey, the 12 wides is good because I drive the truck every day. Hey, I know, Jake, I know you drive the truck every day, but you're just crazy, bro. So that's the truck, that's the suspension setup, that's the wheel and tire setup. Sits pretty well. I love this truck. I drive it every single day. I've put about 38,000 miles on this truck since I've owned it. I ordered the wheels and tires the week that I bought the truck. I bought it brand new from the dealership, and I love these wheels and tires. When these tires wear out, I'm going to do the exact same tires. I'm going to go the exact same, you know, size and everything on them, because I've had great results with them. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you guys how it looks whenever the truck is at full lock, so you can get an idea with the trimming that I did, kind of how the wheels and tires look. This beast turned over. So boom, in the front, it rubs a little bit. You could cut this a little bit more. I mean, it's real easy to trim this. I'll probably trim it up soon. As you notice, when you do trimming on this, you have to constantly do trimming. You'll do a little bit of trimming, but then you hit something, when you hit a bump or something and it makes it sit a little bit lower, you got to do a little bit more trimming. It's not a big deal. It's part of the game. You want to run some big wheels and tires, get used to it. All right, you're gonna have to trim some stuff up. You have to cut some stuff up, okay? So swing this beast the other way. I'll let you guys see at the other way. So as you can see, there's like a little bit of light in there. So like I said, when you're backing up and you hit a bump, of course it's gonna rub. But where is it gonna rub? 99% of the time it's gonna rub on the fender liner. So I don't care if my tires hit the fender liner. As you look at my wheels, or sorry, if you look at my tires are not cut anywhere, okay? So this hasn't really been rubbing on any metal, all right? And that's the big thing for me, is I wouldn't want to chop or cut my tires up, all right? Alright guys, that pretty much does it for this video. Hopefully this answered some of your questions about my wheel tire setup as well as my suspension setup. Again, 2.5-inch leveling kit in the front. Rear block from the factory has been removed and nothing else put in there. No shims, nothing like that. What it does, you can see it gives it a pretty nice stance. It does sit a little bit higher in the front, but it really doesn't bother me. I think it looks great. If you do pull a trailer regularly and you take that rear block out, it will squat really bad though. Just a little warning. I pull a 20-foot trailer with my truck regularly and it squats pretty bad, but overall does pretty well. Sorry for the noise in the background guys. I just got into my new house and there's a lot of traffic here, so I'm gonna be for future videos I'll find a different area to kind of record these videos. But here's the new house. Me and my girlfriend just moved in about a month ago. Bought the house. It's here in North Carolina. It's on an acre of land, 30 minutes from the beach. Awesome house, 10-foot ceilings or higher in the entire house. Pretty big garage, so a lot of room to work with all the toys and stuff like that. I only paid $160,000 for this house, so it's really not that bad considering that it's only 30 minutes from the beach, which is awesome for me. As you can see here, kind of getting the garage in order, and the paint flaked on my platinum panel, so I'm gonna take this to get repainted and throw this thing back on the truck. So I'll show you guys a video of me putting this platinum panel on the truck. As you know, my truck is not a platinum. It is an F150 XLT with a 302A package. So you guys will kind of see how you can put that platinum or that King Ranch panel or maybe that limited panel if that's something that you guys want to put on these trucks. I had the panel on before and I removed it just because I want to get it repainted, and as you see, the tailgate still looks normal even though I put that panel on. And on the OEM Platinums, Limiteds, all those trucks, it has a bunch of holes all on the tailgate, which is how that panel attaches, but I'm able to attach that panel with 3M tape, and I'll show you guys how to do that later on. Kato, you got no legs, buddy. Where your legs go? Hold up. Little bad boy. This is a shout out to my stunt driver and girlfriend, Cheyenne Martinez. Check out her channel, I'll link it below.